Hey YouTube! So I have a update for you guys, and I wanted to let my commenters that have asked for reviews know that I promise, I will be doing those reviews for you guys. It's just I've been pretty crazy busy because it's just a lot to explain, but basically, like, I'm having job issues and yada yada. So please excuse my voice. Been kind of sick. So I kind of sound like a man. I apologize. So we did get my husband's semen analysis back, and everything looked good with that. And basically, his number is at 220 million sperm per cc of semen, which you only need 60 to be in the normal range. So he has pretty dang phenomenal numbers, like, go him. But and they're not even worried because he only produces 2 mLs, and the normal is 2.5 to 4 or something like that. So they're not even worried. Also because his morphology is at 60, or I think it's 60%, which is really good because I think 30% is the normal or something like that. And his motility is amazing. I guess not only is it 100% modal, which is awesome, but the lab tech, when my doctor was looking at the notes on her screen, she said the lab tech actually bothered to say his sperm really liked to swim. And then in parentheses, he put fast, aggressive, blah, blah, blah. So he has great sperm. So the problem is just me, which kind of sucks, but it's good because I obviously don't want both of us to have issues. It'll be a lot easier with just me. So part of my issue, I have 2 issues. One is that I don't normally ovulate. In the past 3 years, I've ovulated 4 times, or I've gotten an LH surge, I should say. I've gotten an LH surge on my OPKs 4 times. My second part of my problem is that sometimes when I get an LH surge and a positive OPK, my temp doesn't spike, meaning that I don't actually ovulate. So what happens then is that my LH is surging, my LH is building up, and when your LH builds up, what's really happening is in your ovaries, follicles, lots of little follicles, start to build up. And however many you have, a certain number get to be mature. So they grow to a big enough size. So if this is one follicle, this wouldn't release, and this one would release. And then when your temp spikes is when your body actually releases the egg. So we don't know if it's because my follicles don't get big enough and my eggs don't get big enough, or if it's because they're faulty, or what. My egg quality, when they took a couple from me, looked good. So it's more than likely that my LH just isn't strong enough most of the time to make the eggs big enough and release an egg. So we have a couple of options. One, I don't have PCOS, so we're not doing metformin. We're starting Clomid next cycle. So I will take Clomid cycle day 3 through 7. After I induce a cycle beginning, so I'll induce a period with progesterone pills because I have insanely long irregular cycles. I range anywhere from 38 to 75 days. 75, you heard that right. So we're going to induce a cycle, and then on cycle day 3 through 7, I'll take Clomid, and then from there I have 2 options. One is that I will take OPKs every day until I get a positive, and we'll just have sex every other day. The other option is to go in, I think, on cycle day 13 or something like that, and it's either 12, 13, or 14, I can't remember, but they'll do a sonogram of my ovaries and see how my follicles are doing. If I have a follicle that is 18 to 20 or larger, we'll do what's called an HCG trigger shot. And yes, HCG is a pregnancy hormone, is the pregnancy hormone. So my doctor will give me the Ovidril or Ovidril, depends on who you're talking to as to how it's pronounced. I say Ovidril. They'll give me the Ovidril shot, and that is the HCG, and the HCG being shot into my stomach will basically trigger my body, hey, it's time to release the egg now, let it go. And so then, obviously, I will have issues with pregnancy tests, and I will have symptoms more than likely because I have the HCG in my system, and it takes about 7 to 14 days to get out of your system. So I'll probably have whatever pregnancy symptoms I'm going to have. Maybe nausea, maybe headaches, maybe tender breasts, whatever it's going to be. I'll probably have those symptoms. And then you can do one of two things from there. You can either take pregnancy tests from trigger day through when it gets negative and then wait 4 days and take a pregnancy test after 4 days. So if it stayed in my system personally 10 days, I would take a pregnancy test at 14 DPO. So, or 14 DPT, days post-trigger. Or I can wait 16 days past the trigger and go in and get blood work done. And the HCG would have been out of my system enough that even if it was still in my system, it would only be at like 5 or 2 or whatever. It wouldn't be a lot anymore. So those are my two options. I don't quite know what my insurance covers because I have personal Kaiser and I have my dad's insurance, and his is through his company. So personal Kaiser does not cover any infertility. So they won't cover sonograms, they won't cover the Clomid, they won't cover the Ovidril. And so I have to call on Monday because it's Saturday. I have to call on Monday, see what my dad's insurance covers, and then figure out where we're going to go from there. I personally, when I was talking to my doctor, she thinks that the Clomid will work, but it might not work every time. And she feels like because part of my problem is that my eggs don't necessarily release, that we'll have a humongously better chance with the Ovidril shot. So my point of view is because you can only have so many rounds of Clomid in your lifetime and we want more than one kid, that I should up my our chances as much as possible, even if we're paying a few $100s for a sonogram out of pocket and the Ovidril shot. And she is only going to let me do 3 rounds of Clomid before she sends me to an RE for this baby. So, that's where I'm at with it. But my husband is a little bit more apprehensive. He doesn't want to pay for a sonogram if we don't have to because he's been doing, of course, research, which means that he's seen it can be anywhere from $99 to online it says $1,000, which through the place I go to, it would be like $500, which that would stink. It would stink to pay $500 out of pocket. But if we don't do the trigger, and it would have worked with the trigger, and we spend those 3 rounds of Clomid with the less likely chances, and then we have to go to an RE, which is more expensive, and go through like things like Fulistem or Proganova or Gonalef, things like that, that gets really, really expensive really quick. I mean, we're talking $300 for Fulistem shots and then sonograms and trigger shot. So I would much rather do the more expensive initially, give ourselves the better chance. So that's kind of where we're at. I will probably next week or the week and a half will be doing my progesterone, starting AF, and then going from there. So I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, YouTube.